Brandon, I'm just going to say as we start this new era, I just realized as we were going live that we are forever going to miss the welcome to unnecessary roughness in the Brandon Walker voice. And I feel like maybe you should just do one for one last time.
No, I've decided to turn over the keys to the ship to you. You're running this thing, and I'm just going to be a passenger and duke it out with Big Ev and T-Bob and everybody, and you're running things.
Well, we're all still running things, and I know you. There's no way that you're going to let me have complete control of anything ever, but I do appreciate it. So now I'm going to have to come up with my own cadence, I guess.
This was my idea.
No, I know, but when you say you're giving up control, you're not. You're just wanting to argue a little bit more.
I want to get in the mud a little bit more. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. Welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool Sports college football podcast presented by Twisted Tea. We've been on about a month and a half or whatever it's been, hiatus, but that Twisted Tea has still been hitting. Brandon's drinking it right now. Brandon, what flavor you got?
I want to shout out to Lukey Blutman, who makes sure I have a cold one every single show. I've got the raspberry. The delicious raspberry. The peach is my favorite, but this raspberry is very, very good.
So as we mentioned on last episode when we did the Illinois interview, T-Bob, welcome to the show.
Yo, Kayce, what's up? Yes.
What I have said about Twisted Tea, and I know the amount of time you have now spent around Brandon Walker, you will understand this. It's Brandon Walker in a can, for better or worse, because it's like he loves tea so much.
Okay.
It's got some spice in it, got some, he can make you feel a little bit some type of way like the alcohol. But there's no carbonation. There's no sparkling fizz. It's the best thing you can do. It's Brandon Walker in a can.
All right, let me put this to the test. Oh yeah. It does smell like Brandon. To be fair, let me go. Kayce, I'll be damned. That tastes exactly like Brandon. I mean, fuck me. I was just licking him actually before the show this morning, and it's uncanny.
So, frankly, if you're out there and you've been wondering, what does Brandon Walker taste like? I got your answer. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, and this is one of those things where when we talked about bringing T-Bob on, and I got to know T-Bob a little bit, even just like for 5 seconds in the office, I was like, this man's gonna bring it. And the fact that we're slurping Brandon Walker, 5 minutes into the show?
Yes.
It's quite the start.
Anyways, Twisted Tea, the presenting sponsor of Unnecessary Roughness. Fellas, it's the official start, in my opinion, to the preseason of the 2025 college football season. Ev, you and I were talking about this. I understand the summer's still there. No one wants to wish summer away. And after the 4th of July, you start getting to media days. It's time for college football.
The All-Star game happens, the media days start rolling out, the golf major happens, and then you realize things are disappearing. The things that are standing in your way of college and pro football are disappearing and are going away. And now all we really need to do is, once these last media days happen over the next week or two, we got to get the players in camp. We got to start all the rumors and the innuendo and all the crap, and we're going to be there before you know it.
And Ev, I know we're bringing in another SEC guy, so you're still Liam's UCLA, but let's be honest. I mean,
Kayce, we got two Big Ten guys in the house.
Yeah, a couple. We're two Big Ten, two SEC.
We are a massive Big Ten power.
Boom, big time.
The most national championships.
Well, that is true. I know that bringing in another SEC guy. But you never know what's going to happen.
Look, to be clear, yes. I want to state my bona fides here at the beginning, and I've talked about this in the past, but I don't have conference pride. I fucking loathe all the teams in the SEC.
What have I been trying to say all these years?
I hate them. I don't want success for my enemies. You think I'm happy if Alabama wins a national championship? I'd rather Ev stack 6 more natties in a row than let the Tide sniff another one. As far as my personal fandom goes.
It's the biggest misconception in sports, in college sports. I think we're all just sitting around our trailer park going, SEC. I don't want Georgia or Alabama or LSU to be happy ever.
Nothing made me happier than after the SEC last season whine and stamp their feet about needing their 3 lost teams to get in. This schedule is so hard. No. And then when they go 6, and they would think they went 2-6 against the Big Ten in bowl games, they got absolutely lambasted, dude. I want the play on the field to decide who makes it. Not the style of the play. Just did you win or fucking lose? And I don't care about it. So yeah, no, not Not an SEC homer, but
can I ask a quick question with that? Because we've talked about that with all of us. You know, I would rather Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State win than like say Texas or LSU. Yeah. No offense. However, isn't there something in you that still has? I mean, granted, from a personal standpoint, it's one thing, but you still don't want people to say the SEC sucks.
You're not
I hate that.
You're not pulling for the conference. You are acknowledging reality when you get to the end of a 9-3, 8-4, 10-2 season, and you say, "Look at what we had to play." The SEC is winning the national championship just about every year. Now you guys see what we have to deal with down here. That's the thought process I have with it.
Yeah.
It's just, I mean, Brandon, that was a very like delicately pretentious thing you just said.
I saw it in his eyes.
I was like, you do this. Oh, like you basically, we're not SEC homers, but when we lose 5 games, we'll tell you how hard our schedule was and how yours was easy as hell. That's what you just said. And I mean, from T-Bob, I understand it because he's close enough to the Sun. Yeah. He's legitimately competing for championships, so he doesn't want to see the Alabamas, the Georgias. I get it, but you as a Mississippi State guy, and there's a bunch of others. It's not just you. It's the Tennessees, it's the Auburns, it's all those down in the bottom half. Or Tennessee, I guess, is in the top half. But regardless, it's all recent. All across the board. There, it's all across the board. You still, when they win that national championship and they do well in bowl season, there's still a little puff your chest out and beat on it.
Well, yeah, it's like
hold on, he's talking to me.
No, but it is.
Hold on, Kayce. If he wants to drop the gloves,
no, it's kind of what I was saying. Like we don't want to be told that our whole conference we're not losing.
That man was talking to me. Everybody else stopped talking. That man was talking to me, and he was looking into my soul when he said that. All right. And if he wants to drop the gloves this early, we can drop the gloves. You will never find me a clip of me after Alabama wins or Georgia wins thumping my chest or doing anything like that. I am a fan of one of the have-nots in the SEC, and I acknowledge how fucking hard it is down there. And there have been moments I wish we were in the Big 12. I wish we were in the ACC. Big 10, not so much. But I say truth in reality, and you want to spin that as me being a homer? Fuck off with that.
I mean, but I do kind of get Ev's point because, you know, it's like.
What is this? This is going to be getting up on Brandon podcast now.
I am not saying specifically.
I got enough of those.
But, like, look at Texas A&M. Right, as they continually disappoint, they continually fall short of their goals.
There you go.
The SEC rallying cry became something for them to cling on to. Yeah. Say, okay, well, we are still better than you, even if we can't ever get anything done. At least we're part of the best.
No. Okay. All right. I will say this. I will say there are multiple things that can happen in that sentence. Now, first of all, fuck you. Welcome to the podcast. Second of all, there is an element, and I fell right into it when A&M started playing in the SEC, but I still stand by it. It's like we are playing the Alabamas every week. We are playing the LSUs. You know, you go down the list. Now, the problem is Texas and Oklahoma are also in the SEC. So the people that we hated for like 100 years, they've now joined us, and Texas is doing better right away. But I still do think, because I agree, like I'd rather die than Texas win a national championship. But if A&M is playing in a conference that looks harder on paper going into the end of the season, I do like that. Like I want the SEC to be good. I just don't want somebody specific in the SEC to be better than me. Does that make sense?
It's fine. But the fact that this motherfucker over there to your right is just throwing out aspersions and casting it when he just happens to be a fan of Ohio State, who's one of the only teams that gives a damn in that conference. There's like 3 teams they have to beat every year. And otherwise, you're beating Michigan State and Rutgers, yay, and Minnesota. Don't act like you can come over here and tell me what I'm a fan of in my conference or whatnot. You just happen to be in a conference of other teams that suck your dick, and I'm not going to do that.
But that's the difference where you guys love to play this game. We saw Illinois kick South Carolina's ass. And
that was great. Who enjoyed that more than me, Big F?
There is nobody on the planet that loved that more than Brandon.
The Big Ten for the last has been labeled as this top heavy. It's not nearly. Listen, the bottom is bad. Like I'll give you that, but the bottom of the SEC is dog shit. You guys are dog shit. You're horrible. You couldn't beat Toledo. You can't beat anyone.
Is that what we're doing?
This is bad.
No, hey, listen, Brandon.
What the fuck? What are we doing?
Brandon, I will tell you. I mean, I did not anticipate you getting.
I'm telling the truth.
Yeah, and I mean, I got ricochet shots. By the way, T-Bob,
What?
A&M has not been shit in the SEC. I will give you that. But also, it's not like we walked in and we're just like dog shit from the beginning. I mean, the first year in the SEC was pretty damn good.
No, it was. I'm just saying that it must be kind of tough for you personally because for years you were kind of throwing it at Texas like, fuck you, like playing a real conference. Like we're in the SEC now. And then fucking, you know what it's like? It's like the prodigal son. Okay. Texas went off. You guys are on the farm stead. You're doing everything that dad asked you to. You're a good son. Texas, they've been out wandering, partying, doing drugs, sucking dick for 15 years. And then all of a sudden they come back. And what did they get served? The fattened calf.
No,
They get the big fat calf and the big meal. Now they're the hot guy and the big brother's back. It just sucks.
You two stop arguing.
No,
The nerve of this guy to have been defending his piece of shit school at Ohio State for years and years, and then we have to turn this and then fuck you big old motherfucker.
You know what they got served, T-Bob?
What's
a
that?
much easier SEC schedule than they would have had to play if we still had the SEC West and the SEC East.
I agree.
You know that.
I agree.
Had not gotten rid of divisions when we ushered Texas and Oklahoma in, it would have been different.
Have we started yet?
My main conspiracy theory, one of my mains, is that yes, like the scheduling office of Birmingham needs to release the files. Why did they decide to deep dick Oklahoma so badly while giving Texas such a friendly draw to start this new era?
Was weird.
It is. I mean, collusion.
Bullshit.
Yeah,
bullshit.
You talk about a team that, like, obviously A&M, as an A&M fan, I hated seeing Texas come in, be in the college football playoff, whatever. Oklahoma fans have to be down far worse because they get ushered in, whatever. See, this is why.
Just gotta stop everybody here. This is a season of eternal hope. This is July.
Yeah, you're right.
The Oklahoma fans right now, if you ask them, they think they're going 11-1 this year.
I mean,
they
may do.
They've got a damn good quarterback. I know. So we put out the top 10 quarterbacks going into 2025. All 5 of us, Brandon, I know you did it, I think on Mostly Sports first, and then everybody else has put their list out. We're going to get into that later in the show. We're going to actually give our reasonings behind it. I can imagine that the internet hated all of them. I'm sure some people loved more than the other, but when you talk about ranking quarterbacks, and obviously Oklahoma fans will be in that, but we're going to start with news first. Before we do that, Brandon, you remember before we went on our little hiatus that I talked about Viore, and I talked about those leggings and how soft they are, and most importantly, how they make that ass pop. Okay. I love Viore. Okay. Viore is my favorite workout sets. Also, they've got great boxer briefs for the guys. They've got everything. It honestly is so comfortable. It feels like butter on your skin, but it also looks good. And, a lot of times when you're working out, whether you're in, guy working out clothes, girl working out clothes, they start like losing their luster a little bit. They don't fit as well. Never in Viore. It is worth the purchase every single time. And also, like I mentioned, fellas, the boxer briefs, they feel great to the touch. You know what, T-Bob, I think Brandon's actually wearing them right now. If you want to,
Brandon, can I get a little? Can I just
my boxer briefs?
Yeah, let me just get up
can you,
a little bit here. All right. Are those camo Viores?
No, well, they're just Viore.
Wow, those are those are nice.
Yeah,
you know what it feels like?
I didn't know you would touch my underwear that fast.
It feels like butter. It feels like butter on your skin.
It does.
I knew you were going to touch my underwear. I just thought it would be further into the podcast.
Look, I guarantee you, there is not a person on this podcast that you want to play gay chicken with less.
Okay.
Because I don't think sexuality is binary. I think it's a scale, and I'm somewhere in the middle. So if you want to tussle, big boy, you just let me know whenever.
I didn't say I did.
Okay. I'm just saying to know, but have you too. Whenever you come to Chicago, just let me know. If you want me to feel your underwear, just let me know.
Well, and if you're wearing Viore underwear, why wouldn't you? Because they're so great and they're breathable, light, soft weight, 4-way performance stretch and all this stuff. Basically, we love Viore. I honestly think that it's one of my favorites. I love all of our sponsors. This is one of my favorite. I love Viore so much, and it's an investment in your happiness. Right now, they are offering 20% off your first purchase. Get yourself some of the most comfortable and versatile clothing on the planet. Viore.com/roughness. That's VUORI.com/roughness. Exclusions do apply. Visit the website for full terms and conditions. Not only will you receive 20% off your first purchase, but you also enjoy free shipping on any United States orders, $75 or more, and free returns. If for some reason you don't like the fit, they don't make your ass pop as much as you want, you can return them. Again, that's Viore.com/roughness. Discover the versatility of Viore clothing. Again, exclusions do apply. All right. So like we said, media days have been happening. SEC Media Days last week. Honestly, there wasn't really a lot that came out of it. I feel like, and maybe Brandon, I'm just completely jaded at this point. I know you and I have spent a lot of time at SEC Media Days in our past. T-Bob, I'm sure you did too.
Yes.
I know you did. There nothing really comes out of them to me anymore. Like, I don't know if it's social media that's taken away, but I was like, okay, like nothing really happened.
No, outside of an awkward interview with Lane Kiffin and Paul Feinbaum every year, and outside of Kirby Smart having to discuss another arrest, there's nothing really coming out of media days. Media days in the SEC is basically just an excuse for 45-year-old white guys to get together in Birmingham or Atlanta and sing karaoke every Tuesday night in July.
I mean, look, it's without a doubt.
You've sang karaoke at the thing, haven't you?
I mean, this is the first year in probably 6 years that I haven't been there singing karaoke.
What a loser.
I would say this is, look, it's a media networking thing, certainly. I would say, though, it does serve as a platform for kind of a state of the union for each conference, right? And so we saw Yormark get out there and talk about how, look, I know everybody thinks we want the 4-4-2-2 model, but we want 5-11 because why would I cap what the Big 12 could be? I thought that was very interesting. You have Greg Sankey out there, very much kind of dropping his nuts on the table and redoubling down on all of his super conference talk. We are the super conference, but he's saying, hey, we'll go to 16 if we want. We'll go to 9 games if we want. Fuck you all. We get to do what we want. And then, like, if you're a real nerd about the press conferences, which, to be fair, I didn't dive in as much this year because I wasn't there, like, there's sometimes some interesting things to be gained by hearing from these head coaches, even if they aren't headline worthy. Like last year, I thought it was pretty awesome when Kirby Smart was talking about like studying Nike and studying other companies as to how they maintain dominance and relevance and blah, blah, blah. So like there's stuff, but unfortunately, it still seems to be a Steve Spurrier shaped void in terms of the quotes or the headlines that are just going to go uber viral immediately.
Well, Saban now as well.
Yeah.
Not being there. So.
Yeah. Sure.
I feel like Liam, you're a social media guy. You're an encyclopedia. How much do you care about media days?
I care about media days because it gets clicks, and that's what my job is, to help our company get clicks. So when Kirby Smart says anyone who thinks that his quote was just straight, 2 conferences are stronger than the others, and if you don't agree with that, then you probably don't know college football. That's great for clicks. So I appreciate Kirby Smart saying that. I appreciate Diego Pavia incorrectly saying that he's at Vanderbilt to win a national championship. You could say that, you could let your dreams be delusional, but every single one of us knows that just ain't the case. I appreciate Josh Heupel speaking on Nico I'm leaving's departure. All that stuff matters.
Facts. It's facts. That's why Blutman just, that's why he is who he is. But Ev, this obviously did not come out during media days, but following media days, this has now come out. And I'm going to be honest, I'm really excited that we're starting with this on this new debate type thing, because I can already see what's going to happen. So the Big Ten commissioner, Tony Petitti, has now sent a letter to the NCAA committee, the COI, saying that basically Michigan should not be punished any further after the investigation into all the sciencing, all the stuff that we've gone through ad nauseum on this show. There's a lot of talk about how he wasn't actually in person for the meeting on the infractions. And then you look back at how mad Michigan was at him when this all happened, when Harbaugh got suspended, all of that. But in response to all of this, he has now said, we're done with this. I don't think anything else should happen. Let's all move on. I think I'm going to start with T-Bob first. I think I'm going to start with T-Bob because we haven't really heard his opinion on this, at least on this show. So T-Bob, first of all, do you think there should be more punishments? And if you do, does that mean you disagree with what Tony Petitti said?
No. Look, I agree with Petitti. If we're talking Connor Stallion shit, I would struggle to care less. I think the impact of the Connor Stallion shit is still very debatable. I forced myself to watch an entire Netflix documentary. It was mind-numbingly drawn out. You could tell there's just not a lot there. Stallions left. They still do. So Stallions are the only thing. So I'm fine with Petitti. The only thing that I think is still greasy as fuck with Michigan is the Matt Weiss stuff. But that's like more of like an actual court of law, not like NCAA infractions with their OC breaking into college girls' iClouds and stealing their nudes. Like that's the most fucked up thing Michigan has done by far. So if you're talking about Connor Stallions, no, move on. I'm over it.
Ev?
I think it's more, we've talked about it so much already. I mean, I think we all understand that they're just a horrible, gross, just disgusting institution, organizational chaos. I mean, crime is not only against the integrity of the sport, but against humanity, as T-Bob just talked about. Absolutely sickening. I think the Big Ten commissioner is saying this because they know more punishment is coming. What punishment that is, I don't know. Like, I don't know how hard they're really going to go after Michigan on something like this. It's because you see, obviously, I follow so much Ohio State stuff online, and it's like when you follow that, you think like they're going to get banned from the sport forever. Absolutely not going to happen. Do they even get a postseason ban, which I think is really the only thing that matters? Like Sherrone Moore facing another few game suspension, don't really care about it. Don't know how good of a coach he really is. Or how much he's going to matter to the success of their program going forward, how long he even ends up staying there. But I think they end up getting more punishment in some form. It's hard to know what. I think I don't know, did they lose a few scholarships? I don't know. I just don't know what you really do because we've talked about it so much. Like all these punishments are so like, you can't retroactively do anything. Like they're not taking a championship away or anything like that, or even Big Ten championships or anything. So I don't know. Do they get banned from the playoff for a year and that year that they probably wouldn't have made it anyway? Maybe. That's the most I see. I mean,
both of you are missing the point. Both of you are completely missing the point. The point is, it just shows that no matter how much the conferences expand or college football expands, the Big Ten exists as a whole to absolutely cuddle and wipe the little booties of Michigan and Ohio State. The Big Ten exists to pat them on the head and said, your shit don't stink. Whatever you say is fine. Please, we serve at the master of Michigan. The Big Ten commissioner is laying down on his knees and saying, give me that Michigan cock because I'm going to suck it right here. So that is what the Big Ten... That's what the Big Ten commissioner is doing. This entire time, the Big Ten could have stepped in when it was happening and said, hey, don't fucking do that. But the Big Ten lays down for Daddy Michigan and Mama Ohio State and lets them run roughshod. It's the same thing that killed the Big 12 because they coddled Texas and Oklahoma, Texas and Oklahoma for years and years and years, and they got burned. And now the Big Ten commissioner, this powerful man, is laying down and said, please, Michigan, I didn't mean anything. You guys didn't do anything wrong. What a coward of a leader that guy is. You guys are both missing the point.
No, what you're saying is that it just works like every fucking other facet of life.
Fine.
That's how everything works. The superstars get superstar privileges.
So y'all are okay with it? Let's point out what's happening here. That's what's happening. The Big Ten commissioner is laying down and letting Michigan rub his belly and call him a good boy.
Well, but I will say this. I'm sorry, Kayce, go ahead.
No. Continue. Because what I was going to say is like what you're both saying is correct. Like what you're saying, T-Bob, is like there's nothing more to do. Let's move on from it because it feels like
they didn't do anything. Nothing's happened to him.
Jim Harbaugh got suspended.
Oh yeah, and he got his golden parachute to the NFL. He was leaving the whole time anyway.
But Brandon, my next question was going to be within this. I understand what you're saying, and yes, superstars get more treatment, and all those superstars that were there are no longer there. That
is the biggest cop out in sports.
What else are they supposed to do?
Every cheater
punish the kid.
Every cheater in college sports does this. Every cheater, every scandal, they always say, "Well, wait a minute. You can't punish the guys that are there now. Those poor little kids didn't do anything." So what you're saying is you're letting the organization off the hook. You're letting this corruption that rotted the core of the apple off the hook just so some 2-star center from fucking Sheboygan can be okay. No, fuck that. He can transfer. This is a program and a team that cheated their way to a national title. The Big Ten is saying it's okay. We're going to turn the other way. If they say punishing kids is the biggest cop out, we say, then you're saying any program can cheat as long as 2 years later there's new kids there?
No, not new kids. You got to get rid of the head coach. In this, I mean, he got rid
of himself because he's a coward.
I know, but I mean, it's like Pete Carroll did at USC back then. What I'm saying is, you're saying what I'm not saying is that the same people that did the scandal originally can remain in charge and go unpunished. Right. But in these situations in which the people who were at the core of the wrongdoing, the leaders, the men, the coach, the staff, they're gone, then yes, I do not think the sons should pay for the sins of their forefathers.
So all the rats jumped off the ship. They all jumped off the ship. You don't want to go back and punish the people who damaged the ship in the first place?
If there was a recourse to punishing Jim Harbaugh, I mean, no.
Then everybody should cheat every year and just recycle people.
I don't really care.
We should all do it.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't think the Stallions cheating was even that impactful. I don't know. I mean,
ask TCU if it was impactful. Ask TCU if it was impactful.
There are some interesting correlating numbers for sure.
Ask Sonny Dykes if it was impactful that he knew they were cheating.
Yeah,
may or may not have had some conversations.
But there's also
hold on, Kayce. You and who have had some conversations?
He said he may or may not.
I did interview Sonny Dykes for a college football show. I may have talked to him off record, and it's off record. I'm a man of honor and respect, so I won't relay those conversations. But some things were said that were pretty damning. That's all I'll say.
All right, there you go.
No, T-Bob, I have agreed with you to the point where I get like slandered for it. I will say, though, it's not like we found out post-national championship that this was going on. They found out before they even went to the playoff, and Jim Harbaugh wasn't even allowed on the sidelines. And hear me out. If you're stealing signs, stealing the signals, stealing all of that, and the other team knows that, because that's exactly what happened when they went in and played Penn State, they went in and played Ohio State, and then ended up winning a national title. Change your fucking signals. Like what? Like you can say they were doing it, but everybody knew they were doing it, right?
Well, and I mean, honestly, didn't TCU kind of manipulate the situation too when they found out about it? That's how they use it to beat him. I mean, also like even the form of cheating though is a bit. God, I can't believe we're back here. Even the form of cheating though is a bit hard to parse because everybody does steal signals, right? It's just an extension of it. I get it. It's an extension of it to an air, like to a level heretofore unseen, but it's not, it's more like taking an unwritten rule to its most extreme end versus just like completely doing something that nobody else is doing.
Well, you're taking that out and arguing against that, and that's fine. What I'm arguing is the Big Ten commissioner is an absolute coward in this scenario. Also,
but he did hold off for a while. No,
also, when it comes to the cheating and the culture that was there at Michigan, you peel back every layer of that apple, it's more rotten than the last layer. The Connor Stallion stuff was just emblematic of what they were doing with the recruiting violations. I mean, listen, they got suspended. Harbaugh got suspended multiple times that season for shit that wasn't this. Like they were nasty. He had a plan to win his national title and get out of town, and he got out of town, and y'all were saying, well, he got away.
Yeah, he did, because it's sports and it's not a court of law. And so unfortunately he did fucking run. And in this is like the wild, you still can run because it's just college sports. So like if he goes to the NFL, what are you going to do? You can't punish the kids.
Yes, you can.
Not if the coach is no longer there.
There's NIL, there's transfer portal, there's ways for these kids. They're not tied to Michigan forever.
So now you
punish Michigan.
Now you're just doing Big F's bidding.
No, I'm not. I'm just right. This is a cop out to say
you pay him, Ev.
It's a cop out to say we can't punish the kids.
This is also though, and I understand, Brandon, and you're not just doing this because it's Michigan. I get that. And let's just say hypothetically, something happens at Barstool and Dave's got to go. Dave has got to go. But 2 years down the line, they're like, Brandon, sorry, we look what happened at Barstool. You don't get to get paid as much. You don't, there's a punishment. You would be pissed. Same thing with those kids.
Kayce, that's exactly what would happen. If Dave was shunted out the door, it would trickle down and it would affect me. And
we would all get paid.
And if it would affect you, it would affect you. If Dave did wrong, this is all hypothetical, but if somebody above us did wrong, it would.
Any corporation.
In any corporation, if somebody above you does wrong, it does trickle down to everybody else. Why are we trying to make college football?
Not if they get not completely. If you get rid of them, it's like that's what I mean. Listen,
they didn't get. Can we stop that? They didn't get rid of them.
Okay, sorry, he left. But that's even like my point is
the end result's the same.
The end result is the same to where it's like, and I mean, not to like bring this in, speaking of viral moments, but like the whole thing with the fucking Coldplay concert, like you've got your CEO making out, doing whatever, having this affair. He's gone now, apparently. That should not affect the future employees of that company.
It's gonna.
But it's the only way to police institutions. Like it's the only, you can't like, and like Brandon said, I would have felt a lot differently about it 10 years ago. The transfer portal being so readily available. Like if you don't want the punishments, you can just dip.
That is, I mean, that is a fair difference from these conversations in the past. Like that's a fair element to point out. I don't find myself that offended by the original offense. Well, I feel like Stallions took something and was way better at it than everybody else was. And granted, he might have crossed lines, but these are lines that are only now clearly defined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right.
I agree with that. And like you said, I can't believe we're back, but the Big Ten commissioner, whether
Also,
so you brought it up.
The SEC sucks Alabama's dick too.
No. Here's the difference.
Because the Big Ten commissioner, I obviously agree with like punishing Michigan, but the Big Ten commissioner, like, Brandon, what else did you expect him to say? That's what I was going to say. What T-Bob said, like, it was the SEC saying you would do the same thing for Bama or Georgia.
Yes, for Bama or Georgia, for sure.
Absolutely toe that company line the same way Big Ten commissioner is
good for business.
I don't know that he would, and I'll tell you why. Because in the SEC, Sankey has to serve a lot of masters. In the Big Ten, you got to make sure Ohio State's happy and Michigan's happy. It's 50-50, you know. In the SEC, you got 7 or 8 big dogs. You got the Texases, the Georgias, the Floridas, the Alabamas. You got all. And if by protecting Alabama in a situation like this, he would be pissing off the Georgias and the Tennessees. I think he would play it differently. He would probably just not say anything at all, which is what probably should have happened.
What they did for a while.
There's also the element too that, I mean, if you're saying like you want either like a postseason ban or taking away a championship, which they would never do and should never do, that's also bad for the Big Ten. The Big Ten commissioner is going to look out for the entire brand of a conference too. Like, they're not going to be like, please, let's give Michigan a postseason ban, because what if Michigan's really good? Let's take away a national title. They're not going to do that. But speaking of the Big Ten, let's move to the 2025 season here, because I feel like we could be on this forever. The preseason media poll, which I know, T-Bob, you probably really missed participating in the SEC this year. Penn State comes in at number 1, followed by Ohio State, Oregon, Illinois, and Michigan. Then Indiana, Iowa, Nebraska, USC, and Washington are the top 10. Thoughts? I'll start with you, Ev. Thoughts on Penn State in over Ohio State?
I mean, it is what it is. I like have a healthy respect for Penn State, but I think due to just us always beating them, I kind of just don't have that, like, they haven't instilled that fear in me yet.
Yeah.
They beat us that one year in 2017, actually, when it was horrible. But other than that, like, we've just beaten them every year. So I don't know, like, obviously they're really good. They're really talented. They have Jim Knowles. I respect him as a coach, but I don't know. I still, obviously, I like us over them always. But no, I mean, they're obviously going to be really good. They brought back a ton of talent. Like, I get it. They did the same thing with Oregon last year. Oregon was very talented. They beat us in the regular season. We saw that ended up. I'm not worried. I mean, it's all about who's number 1 at the end. Like, I guess as someone who's wearing the crown currently, I'm not that concerned with preseason polls.
It's all who's number 1 at the end. I would love to go pull the tape from after the Michigan game and see how Big Ed was feeling about his Ohio State Buckeyes on that Monday.
No, T-Bob, I mean, you'll find this out this season, because now that you're on board and we do, the reaction podcast around like midnight every Saturday. That was a hard one. That was a hard one for a lot of us, but I was thankful that Ev took that, because I had also lost that day as well. But at the end of the day, we're down tremendous when things like that happen on Saturday nights.
Tell me if y'all agree with this on the Penn State front. I think that the thing that fascinates me about this Penn State team is that I don't remember the last time that a team who had not won it so clearly looks like they have such a good opportunity to win it. Because we've talked about this a lot, right? Like Ohio State.
I got the answer immediately.
What was that?
2021 Georgia to me. They hadn't won in 41 years.
Well, I guess we got to take that for granted now after.
I think they were just loaded, and they looked like they could win a national title, even though they hadn't won it in 41 years. Penn State hadn't won one in since 86, I think.
Well, and to further point, it's almost be fun to go look at the 21 preseason and see what was going on with the other big dogs. Because again, the reason why it feels like there's even more pressure on Penn State is not just that their roster's now perfect and it looks like they filled the holes of wide receiver and whatnot, but Ohio State's got a new quarterback.
Yeah.
Georgia's got a new quarterback and is a bit weaker on the lines than they generally are. Alabama has a quarterback that doesn't inspire any confidence at all, quite frankly, and just lost 3 games last year. Michigan's down. So like everybody who has won recently all have major question marks, except for Penn State, who look perfect at every single position.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Can they handle it?
So I just get mad at myself that I picked Penn State to win the national title 2 years ago, because I thought then they were the team they're going to be this year. I think they're the best team in the country. I think they're the best roster in the country. I think they have a top 3 quarterback. I think they're going to win the national championship. And the pushback that you hear on that is, oh, yeah, well, James Franklin's never going to win the big one. You know who else wasn't going to win the big one? Ryan Day after he lost to Michigan. You know who else wasn't going to win the big one? Kirby Smart when he couldn't beat Alabama. You know who else wasn't going to win the big one? Every other coach until they win the big one. Every single other coach.
Yeah, like Brian Kelly.
Yeah, every single other coach. Well, he really can't win. Every single other coach has had to go through this.
He hasn't done it yet, though. Isn't that?
Yeah, he hasn't done it yet, dude. That's what I'm saying. Yes, it's it.
He hasn't done it yet, but neither had Ryan Day when I sat here last year after the Michigan game saying this team's going to win the national championship.
Brian Kelly would be the same argument, no?
Brian Kelly is not. We can talk about Brian Kelly another time. He doesn't have the roster this year that Penn State does.
That's true.
He hasn't built what James Franklin has built. He doesn't have the overall quality. He's got a good offense, got a good quarterback, but he doesn't have the defensive personnel coming back. This is, and not only do they have the roster built up, but Ohio State's coming down from where they were last year, which was historically good at the end of the season. And Michigan isn't really there. There's nobody. All the other halves in college football are just a little bit off of their peak, and this is Penn State's peak season. I think they should be number one in the Big Ten. I think they're going to win the national championship.
Well, that leads us perfectly into the quarterbacks because you talked about Drew Aller there. Obviously, we're going to talk about Garrett Nussmeier. A lot of conversations about that. As I said at the top of the show, we put them out. So we're going to go over them. All 5 of us put out a top 10 list. They're all different. Before we do that, T-Bob, I'm going to give you one more opportunity. Why don't you touch Brandon's hair? I'm just going to let you touch it.
How many times are you going to touch me?
Hey,
Come here, big
listen.
boy. I've been tasting and touching you all show long.
Thanks to Nutrafol, we know that Brandon Walker's glow up. Oh my goodness!
It is a glow up. It is a glow up. This Cro-Magnon looking motherfucker.
He got that head of hair. The man had this hair underneath a buzz cut for way too long, and then he went to New York. He got a stylist, started taking Nutrafol, and look at it. Because listen, when you got healthy hair from the inside out, you start look at Brandon Walker. That's what you want again. So if you are a woman that wants stronger hair, a male, if you're postpartum, they've got every formula that's different for you, and it's clinically tested and science-backed. But Nutrafol Men targets not only the root causes of hair thinning from within, but also maintains the hair that you already have. So that's the thing with the specific men's formula is that it really already targets the roots that causes men to start having thinning hair. It's the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1.5 million people. In just 3 to 6 months, go from a hat guy to a hair guy with visibly thicker, fuller, and improved scalp coverage. Again, the men's formula specifically takes all of these things into consideration, and it's just a daily supplement that you have to take. It's super easy. I started taking the postpartum formula after my son was born. I've been taking the women's formula. I absolutely love it. But again, Nutrafol Men is clinically tested to improve male hair growth and quality. Plus, men are reported to having no impact on sexual performance, which a lot of these supplements can do that. This one does not. So start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol for a limited time. Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com/men. Enter the promo code UR. Find out why Nutrafol is the leading hair growth supplement brand on the market at Nutrafol.com/men, Nutrafol.com/men. Promo code UR, Nutrafol.com/men, promo code UR. All right. So I know that I'm in charge of this ship, but I want to ask, does anybody want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first because I'm the #1 college football expert in the country.
According to Big Game Boomer, who doesn't exist anymore, but
he very much does. He's just under.
So is he just like gone forever now?
No, he's now Joel Klatt.
He got caught. No, he got caught in the Matt Weiss drama. He was hacking it. It's not good.
Okay, R.I.P.
Fuck you, Big Game Boomer.
So we
Brandon, so that means we should.
No, I'm sorry.
No.
I was going to say, Brandon, if that's the case, we got to take that banner down because you should be punished for his sins, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Like, you don't want to be associated with somebody breaking into iClouds for stealing.
You gotta, hey, punish you for
not the same thing.
Else.
Not the same thing at all. Anyway, yeah. So let me pull up my quarterback drafts because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because mine's over a week old at this point, but I think it's very interesting to see because mine went first and then y'all came back and did yours. I do have one person that I just want to take to task about theirs, but very quickly, Cade Klubnik is my #1. Garrett Nussmeier at LSU is my #2. Drew Aller #3. I think there's then a gap. I think those are the top 3. Sam Levitt at Arizona State. Lenore Sellers at South Carolina. This will somehow still make that sensitive ass fan base mad. Arch Manning #6. It's a weird place. Arch Manning is the hardest guy to rank because you see the talent, you know it's there. You saw the deep ball ability and the running ability, but you just have to project. A lot of this is projecting. A lot of it's projecting, and you project him to be there, and it's going to be weird. DJ Lagway, number 7. There's more projecting there because I don't know that he really deserves it after his freshman season, but he's going to deserve it. John Mateer, Oklahoma, number 8. Number 9, Luke Altmaier.
Oh, look at you.
That was pretty much just, if I hadn't talked to Luke Altmaier in person and he intimidated me, he wouldn't be on the list.
Yeah.
And number 10, Haynes King from Georgia Tech. That is my 10. We can circle back and explain anything y'all need to be explained, but I'll let T-Bob say his.
All right. On my 10, and when I did my list, I tried to really be cognizant of like situation. Right. So I have Klubnik 1, Nussmeier 2, and this has caused many LSU fans to be like, T-Bob, what the fuck? You've been in the North too long, blah, like all kinds of shit. I'm like, well, here's the deal, guys. Klubnik's a great quarterback in a perfect situation. Garrett Nussmeier's a great quarterback in a great situation. There are elements of the LSU team that are not going to support Garrett Nussmeier in the same way they do Kate Klubnik. It's also a harder schedule that LSU will have to play. So I like Klubnik 1, Nuss 2. I actually ended up giving myself this is one of the reaches here. I put Mateer 3. And I know it's a step up in competition, but he also has a step up in talent around him. And the thing that I keep going back to is, well, Brent Venables fucking sucks. Fair. I've been off the Venable. I've never liked the hire to begin with, right? But when they had Gabriel and Levy a couple years ago, he let them run wild. So in that same way, I think Oklahoma fans should hope that he'll let Mateer and the OC who came over with him to handle this year. I got DJ Lagway 4. This almost comes from talking to some of my friends that know quarterback that are all heads over heels. Lagway, he finished very strong. Stats won't tell the story. It's 13 touchdowns, 12 picks, but big wins down the stretch. Lenora Sellers 5. He probably has the potential to be number 1 on this list if he can actually we'll see how he does. He's kind of like the inverse Klubnik, right? He's the most talented guy on the list, but probably in the worst situation. You have Drew Aller 6, Sam Levitt 7, Austin Simmons from Ole Miss at 8. This is a massive reach, but I'm giving myself over to Simmons. I can explain why everybody wants me to. Arch Manning 9, and then Rocco Becht from Iowa State coming in at 10.
Brandon, is there anything on that list you would like to take him to task on?
No. I think this is a really weird year in that there are some proven guys, but for the most part, there are more unproven guys at big time schools than there are proven guys. And how far do you want to? There are other guys right outside this list, like Eli Holstein. I think we're doing a disservice if he's not on some of these lists. And there's other guys like Rocco Becht. I find it interesting that you chose him
out of the next man up list,
right? But when you said you're depending on situation a lot, he lost his 2 best receivers. I think his situation doesn't really match up. But again, when you get to that 10 spot, you're really just kind of picking from a group of probably 20 quarterbacks, and it depends on what you like the most. Rocco Becht is one of them, Luke Altmaier being one of them, Haynes King. There's a bunch of guys in that group, Eli Holstein, Josh Hoover, Sawyer Robertson.
And Mendoza.
There's probably 20 guys that could be argued for number 8, number 9, and number 10, and I don't think there's a big argument to be had one way or the other.
Okay. Ev, your top 10 list.
Yeah, I went with Klubnik 1 as well. I think he's just the best returning guy, veteran experience, most productive, just checks kind of all the boxes. And I've said in the show, I wasn't a big fan of his, the last prior years. He really won me over this past season. Yeah, Nussmeier too. I think kind of similar thing. I was big on the Nuss bus last year. I know he had some tough moments, A&M game was tough, but I think he bounces back. He'll have a good year. And the receiving core is obviously incredible. I went Arch 3, and I know it's going to be high. A lot of people are talking about on Twitter how it's if you think Arch is going to be good or say he's good, there's this brigade that just comes and attacks. And it's how dare you give him credit before? But I'm just projecting. And the reason I don't know, maybe this was Brandon's bone to pick. I went Aller 4. And the reason I put Manning ahead of Aller, and I'll just say it point blank, I'm not the biggest Aller guy. He's super talented. He makes some throws that make you go, wow. But when he plays those tough teams, he struggles. And not to say that everyone struggles against obviously these elite defenses like Ohio State, some in Notre Dame and whoever, but I really put Arch over him because I said to myself, who would I rather my quarterback be this year? My honest My honest answer is Arch Manning. I truly believe that in my heart. I like Aller, but yeah, so I have Aller 4. Sam Levitt 5. I mean, great season last year. Really, really big fan of his. I went Sellers 6, and it's funny, even put him 6, and South Carolina fans still were furious about it, saying he's a top 6 quarterback, and obviously has the potential to be greater. I mean, he's a physical specimen.
I don't know what the fuck happened to them, man.
You put him. I say he's a top 6 quarterback. They say you're like an asshole.
They've lost it. Clemson broke them.
No, look, in a dark room, a light shines all the brighter.
Yeah.
And South Carolina's entire football history is the darkest of rooms.
Yeah.
So now that they have this kind of
that's so sad
guiding light
like
to grab onto, they're gonna protect that flame with their entire being.
Sure.
It's not sad that it's South Carolina. That metaphor, just like that hurt, because like that, I feel that way about my team. You know, like you basically were just speaking to my soul. Like that was like a Bible verse.
Big up, my bone to pick wasn't with you.
No,
Okay,
I know who it's with.
fair enough. So then I went Sawyer Robinson next at 7.
Yeah, but
Big
he's
team with him, big tall guy, big arm, was really, really good last year. So I went with him. I have Lagway 8, who honestly, it was hard for me when I was making this list. I had Lagway higher because I'm such a believer in him and his potential. And I wanted to point out somewhere what T-Bob said, where like the numbers may not be spectacular on paper, but like you saw, I'll even bring up a game they lost. You saw that Georgia game.
Yeah.
In that game, they were going to win that game. The second he got hurt, they had nothing. I think that shows a ton how valuable he was to that team and how he played against LSU and Florida down the stretch.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wanted to put him even higher, to be honest. It's one of those where I stare at him at 8 and I'm like, he could be like 3-4. Who knows if things go the right way for him. I went Haynes King 9, huge Haynes King guy. Wasn't even last year and people didn't really understand why. I think he showed it this year. I think he's just a really good player, good leader, can run. I really like him and that team this year. And then I went saying 10. Is it a homer pick? You're goddamn right it is. But at the same time, listen, you want to talk situations? I mean, like, no better situation to walk into than this. I mean, the best receiver, one of the best receivers maybe I've ever seen in college football. Carnell Tate's probably going to be a first rounder as well. A ton of great play. I mean, Max Clare might be a first rounder at tight end. I mean, just incredible.
So is Sayin going to start though?
I think he is. There's a lot. Keen Holtz has got a lot of smoke because he's looked that good. I think it's more of a credit to him. He's been with the program 3 years now. Who knows if it's Keen Holtz? Like I believe in him. Like because I think for him, if it's close.
So is this slot actually Ohio State quarterback number 10, or is it specifically Sayin number 10?
Ohio State quarterback.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that's like an acceptable answer, I would say, given their receiving core.
My name is Big Ev, and I'm putting my team on the list no matter what. That's what it is.
But respect to me, putting him 10, I think that shows a lot of restraint.
Right, and they did just win a national title, so it's not like it's a crazy thing to do.
Will Howard did at quarterback. Neither of these quarterbacks did.
Well, but he's saying in the situation.
But Will Howard had Jeremiah Smith, and these guys will as well.
Too.
I'll say this about Lagway is like, to me, Lagway and Sellers are the two pure highest potential guys on all these lists. It's just that, like, I think Lagway may be a bit closer to reaching that potential. But if Sellers does actually take like a market step forward throwing the ball, then he could end up number 1 on every one of these.
I have Sellers ahead of Lagway for one reason. Lagway's coach fucking sucks. And I think next year he could be number 1 on this list when he has a new coach, but I think his coach sucks.
Lagway at 6'3", 240 is fucking
He's a monster.
crazy.
He's a monster.
Yeah, more on that in a little bit, T-Bob, which is where I feel that Brandon has a bone to pick. But Liam, let's hear your top 10.
I'd like to preface it by saying the quarterback scene's beyond wide open to a point where every single person making a list should have full creativity and feel confident doing that. As Brandon alluded to, when you're trying to find out that 10th best quarterback, there's 20, 30 guys that you could go with. Number 1 for me is Garrett Nussmeier. Nussmeier, as I said, last October would have been QB1 for me in the 2025 NFL draft. He's back in college football. He's there to win a national championship. He says, whatever, we'll see how he does. I love him with Aaron Anderson. To me, one of the better spots for any quarterback in the country. And he's just going to put up such big numbers, gaudy numbers. That's why Klubnik is my 2, because I think when you compare him and Aller might be that better pro prospect. Klubnik's the better college quarterback. That's just ready to go, put up big numbers. Clemson's loaded. It's a big disappointment if Dabo and Cade don't get that Clemson team to the Final Four. Aller is my 3. Aller is a quarterback who I am sure will have more success in the NFL than he will ever have in college, and that is a disservice because he is a great talent that deserves to perform at the highest level in college football on the biggest stages, and I do not think Penn State sets him up for that level of success. I don't think that they'll be winning a national championship this season like Brand believes. I don't think that they're the best team in college football. I think they have a great, superbly talented quarterback who has not been given every key to go out there and showcase his talents with. 4 is Sam Levitt. 5 is Arch Manning. Arch Manning is a 6'4" behemoth of a human being who has great throwing ability, great rushing ability, is the greatest athlete that has ever come out of a Manning. For anybody to go out there and dislike you for saying Arch Manning is going to be a top 5 quarterback in college football, you should stop taking their opinion seriously. Number 6 is DJ Lagway, who somehow we now know just now in 2025, he does not have a prosthetic arm. I don't know where those rumors circulated from, but DJ Lagway's arm is normal.
Did you start him?
This is a blood.
No, you didn't see that?
No.
Oh, that was SEC Media Days. He's like, I don't have a prosthetic arm.
Are we talking about the fugitive
I don't know what we're doing.
No, we're not. But DJ Lagway's in there at 6.
That'd be a Georgia quarterback.
True. Good call, Brandon. Number 7 is Austin Simmons.
Oh, I see.
As
the prosthetic.
Yes, as T-Bob said,
The fugitive.
Yeah. No, I know, but the fugitive, remember they're hunting down the guy.
Yeah, but I was saying Georgia.
But I know, but like Georgia quarterback. I got it. Yeah, it was good.
Boys.
Sorry.
not lights, camera, Barstool. This is Unnecessary Roughness, a college football podcast. Austin Simmons, as T-Bob alluded to, is a massive, and he said reach. I don't think it's, I understand where you're coming from. I just don't think it's a reach. I think by the end of September, Austin Simmons is in the top 10 of every single human beings list. Austin Simmons,
Seems
what
like a stretch.
Not a stretch, Brandon Walker.
Top 10 human beings on Earth?
Yeah.
I mean, he'll reclassify up by 2 years and have college degree at 19.
2 years. Had a 5.34 GPA.
5.3?
That's not even real.
Lefty throws 96 MPH. When you see him I think he does such a fabulous job of leading his receivers, putting the ball in the perfect pocket and lining his receivers carve after a catch. Austin Simmons is going to be a menace. But guess what, buddy? I've seen more than just the 6 passes he's thrown on the field.
That's what I was going to say, though.
This man wax poetic.
Sorry.
I want to ask a question to the room. Is Austin Simmons' one drive of football the single greatest first look you've ever gotten at a player?
No. And Big Ev agrees with me. Do you remember Jameis Winston's first game?
No, I actually don't.
Me and Brand have talked about it at no. I'll never forget it.
Jameis Winston's first game, I think he started 21 of his first 21 or something like that.
Jesus.
25 for 27, like 300 some yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I called my dad after the game and I said they're going to win a national title.
You know who else? Lamar Jackson. I don't know if it was his first drive, but he hit pretty quick. And then Miller Moss at USC. You remember we were talking about Miller Moss, maybe not his first drive, but we were talking about Miller Moss like being the next fucking greatest thing ever.
He had the good Louisville game. All right, Liam, finish up.
To finish up on Simmons, it's not the one drive against Georgia. It's not the one final throw with 4 seconds left against Duke because Lane Kiffin was trolling. It is everything that T-Bob and I just said. The reclassifying up 2 years, the prototypical just quarterback build, the lefty, the zip on the ball, everything. The way, again, that he leads his receivers is so tantalizing. He's going to be a prolific college football quarterback, and everything that you saw Jackson Dart be able to do in Lane Kiffin's offense, Simmons is more talented, in my opinion. So why wouldn't I have Simmons in the top 5?
Yeah.
Devin Dampier's at 8. That one's a big breakout waiting to happen. New Mexico quarterback transfers to Utah, where he sticks with his OC, Coach Beck, and he's just going to put numbers. He's a joystick with the ball in his hands. He could throw as well. He threw really well at New Mexico. I know it's a 12-12 touchdown interception ratio. His receivers at New Mexico stunk. Luke Wysong and couldn't catch. Sorry for giving him a stray. Your receivers couldn't catch a deep ball from Dampier, saved their lives. Number 9 is Josh Hoover. Josh Hoover's in a terrific situation at TCU where there is no pressure really on him.
No.
He was being poached potentially by other schools. He shut them all down, said, no, I'm staying here at TCU. Got a dog at receiver and McAllister, Manjack. TCU should have a solid year in the Big 12. Hoover will take a big step forward. Number 10, I wanted to get DeMond Williams from Washington a shout. I couldn't fit him in. You have to put Lenore Sellers there. I know every South Carolina fan took their hatred towards Brandon and sent it my way. Respect. Who cares? I do not. What I will say, Lenore Sellers is not in the best situation at South Carolina. Yeah. As you didn't even say, first year OC now. Dow Loggins is at App State. So now you're in OC a transition period. That's going to be new and interesting. I don't think his weapons are very good. I don't think the offense, like the O-line was a mess last year. Was it not? Lenore Sellers, a lot. He struggles in my, like, I think he very boomer bust in Anthony Richardson type way. I don't like player comparisons, but I mean, I think that's fair to say. Obviously a physical specimen and everything, but when you go and you look, I think he holds on to the ball too long because he's trying to hero play and hero play make, which whatever, what are you going to do? He's able to do it with his incredible stature and all, but he holds on to the ball too long and lets DBs bait him into making bad throws. I don't think he can make the far sideline throws either. So, like, yeah, he's down there at 10. But yeah, sorry for talking so much.
No, great job, bud. That was an awesome one.
It took a while.
Sorry.
No, but I do want to ask you, no Mateer.
Took forever.
No Mateer.
So no Mateer because
I didn't have Mateer either.
I know.
Oh yeah, it's true.
I don't have Mateer there. I love the fit with Arbuckle. I hate the situation that I don't think they have as much talent surrounding him as it would leave you to believe. They had great receivers at Wazoo. At Oklahoma, he's got Deion Burks. He's got Jayna in the backfield. Gauntlet of a schedule, super sloppy footwork that he needs to clean up on. I think, I don't know, it's tough for me to call him a top 10 quarterback without any play in the SEC on paper yet. Right. I know I have other guys who kind of haven't had much play yet either, but that's just my thought.
Yeah. Good talk.
I like how Blutman started off with, like, everybody has their unique reasons. Everybody can think the way they want. But in reality, like, that is true. This is all projection. This is all, like, looking forward. But, Brandon, go ahead. Tell me what you have to say.
No, you got to say your list before I say it.
Okay, well, before we do that, let's do an ad. Okay.
Oh, wow. She's doing an ad to set up her list.
Oh, God. On the topic of quarterback play, Caitlin with the worst throw I've ever seen.
I'll do it afterwards.
What the heck, Brandon?
Casey, Caitlin came in and threw me my charger and missed me by 11 feet.
I didn't even see it, to be honest. Like, all of a sudden, I saw the reaction of you turning around. Hi, Caitlin. Okay, I will go with my list. Brandon, I'm going to start with number 10 just for you because I know where you're going with this. All right, so I think I'm the only one that put Carson Beck here, and I do agree that, number 8, 9, 10 could be anybody. I feel like, and maybe this is just a personal thing, with Carson Beck, obviously going to Miami and being with Mario Cristobal and getting all the money he did, like, that's all the attention, and he didn't pan out at Georgia the way that we thought. I think that burying him to the point where he's not a top 10 quarterback, again, this is just me projecting with him in a new offense. I think he is still so ridiculously talented. He obviously has the arm strength. He has the athletic ability. I don't necessarily for sure would put him in number 10 over a couple of the other guys. But for this list, I'm like, okay, I don't want to go completely backwards on all the things I've said about Carson Beck. He did not pan out at Georgia. He didn't stay healthy at Georgia. I do believe he could be very good with Mario Cristobal. And we've seen what can happen when Mario Cristobal gets a good quarterback. And I think that Carson Beck athletically is absolutely there. I think he's obviously having the experience. Like, this is an experienced league now. He's played for a while. So I put him there. I have Luke Altmaier at 9. Sam Levitt at 8, John Mateer at 7. I could have put those interchangeable for all the reasons you guys have mentioned. I think they're both going to be very good. But again, that's me projecting for the next year. Sam Levitt, obviously, we know what he can do, but we also know what that offense is now missing going into this year. Drew Aller at number 6. And I know, Ed, you said at number 4, Penn State fans were mad. When I look at this list and I see what Drew Aller has done, if I was only going off of what these guys have done in their careers up until this point, he would obviously be higher. He was in the college football playoff. He obviously has kept Penn State up there every single time. When you look at the things that Drew Aller does against teams that have good defenses, he cannot hit his receivers. He has these issues. He's a good quarterback. He's a talented quarterback. I just look at the guys ahead of him that I have, and I believe their ceilings are higher. Drew Aller has had every opportunity to prove that he is a really good quarterback. None of his wide receivers get drafted. We see him overthrow these guys. I know, Brandon, I know you're mad. But listen, I think that we overrate Drew Aller every year until he plays somebody good and he gets exposed.
I hate I hate what you just said. No, what you just said was we've given him every opportunity to prove he's a good quarterback. Oh, I don't know
how they lost the game to Notre Dame, Brandon.
How about 6,000 yards in his career, 53 touchdowns, 10 interceptions? I'd say he has proven he's pretty good.
And he is a top 6.
But everybody on this list is great, though.
Everybody, that's fine.
He's number 6 for me because when we talk again, this is also projection. I have Arch Manning higher.
I just hated what you said. We gave him every opportunity.
Do you think if DJ Lagway was on Penn State, do you think they'd be better?
Yes.
No, guys, Drew Aller is going to be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. This is a guy with every tool in the world. This is a remarkably talented guy.
He is not an NFL level passer, Brandon.
Oh my Lord.
I think this is where
he is. Yes, he is. I'll just stop there. Yes, he is.
You think that his receivers have been that bad?
I think his receivers have been that bad. And let's talk about how he lost to Notre Dame. They lost 27-24. He threw the worst pick of his life. He threw a really bad pick on that play. He threw a couple of picks in that game. He was not that good. He was not good against Notre Dame. He has not shown up against Ohio State and Michigan. I think against teams that they're better than, he is able to overcome the wide receiver talent. When the DBs of Notre Dame, Michigan, and Ohio State just clamp down those shitty receivers, it makes his job impossible.
Let me preface that. I said he's not an NFL level passer. I mean, I don't believe he's a top 5 NFL passer. Like you said, you'll think he'll be a top 5 NFL draft pick. I completely disagree with that. And I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. Me not having him at 5-1 does not mean I'm saying he's shitty. I just think the guys in front of him have a higher ceiling than what he's had because we have seen what Drew Aller's ceiling is, in my opinion.
I don't think we have. That's fine.
What do you think, Ev?
Now, the receiver point, completely fair. I would like to say, I think just for the record, he did have 2 elite running backs, a very good offensive line, and one of the best tight ends we've seen in college football the last however many years.
And he threw for 30 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Like he had a good season.
I think he's good. I think Aller is good, but I do think that it is very fair. He has things to critique, and he has things that you definitely can criticize.
Definitely does.
I think now it's he's played enough games against the good teams where there's some alarmingly bad, like he's had 2 alarmingly bad games against Ohio State.
That's my point.
Honestly, I think the best he's ever looked truly was in the Big Ten championship game against Oregon. Again, they lost, but I thought he played incredible.
Yeah, he played really well.
That's why I say that
well in that game, and they scored a lot. They scored points. I think there's something that needs to be unlocked with him that I think is just not quite like, because listen, home makes, for example, like I remember watching that first game last year against, I think they played West Virginia, and he made some throws that I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like this guy, I've like making throws that, I mean, elite arm, like one-of-one guy kind of throws. But then he makes a throw like the end of, like against some of these good defenses like Ohio State, like Notre Dame, where he goes, 10 for 22 and throws for 100 yards. And no touchdowns and a pick or 2. And you're like, is this the guy? Like, I don't know. He shows me too much of both, but there's still like too much. There feels like there's more juice to squeeze out of him. And he just is so big and so strong and so talented that it's hard to not like, that's why I had to, even though there's things I don't like about him, he still had to be 4 for me. Cause he's the most physically talented guy.
Kayce, move on from this because this is not the argument we're supposed to have.
No, I know that it's not. But the reason, just to finish that with this is like, and Ev just said it, like he said it more eloquently than me. When we have enough game tape of what Drew Aller is capable of, he's not a freshman making these mistakes. Like we've seen him make these mistakes in these big games against these good defenses enough to say, hey, he's not, to me, a top 5 quarterback. I, again, could be completely proven wrong, but moving up, the reason that I have these guys higher is because I do think their ceiling is higher. I have Garrett Nussmeier at 5, DJ Lagway at 4. Those could be interchangeable for me. The reason that I did that was, we saw Garrett Nussmeier. Maybe it's the bias in me. When he played against A&M, there was just some struggles there. When DJ Lagway got hurt, that team sucked. I believe if DJ Lagway played for Florida against Texas, they beat Texas. Those are right there for me and both incredibly talented guys. Then I have Arch Manning at 3. We've all said it. It's a pure projection based on his athletic ability, his last name, his stats. I believe he's there. I have Cade Klubnik at number 2. And here we go, Brandon. And this is where, and you guys have said it throughout the time, but this is my very high risk pick, but a high reward, because I believe that what happened in the second half of the season with Lenoris Sellers last year, something was unlocked with him and he looked incredible. He wasn't always perfect. He obviously had some issues with reading through his progressions. He had some issues with some throws, but the size that he has mixed with his arm strength, his accuracy, a lot of the times And he is so hard to tackle. And that, to me, if he is taking that next step over the offseason and he works on some of those mechanics and some of those technical things, and he's really just going from a redshirt freshman, who, by the way, freshman of the year in the SEC after just a half of a season that he really played well, was incredible. I think that he could be that guy, that ceiling. Now, if he doesn't take those steps and doesn't fix those things over the offseason, then this is obviously where that high-risk pick is there. But Lenoris Sellers is not only a physical specimen to me. When you look at what he did against Clemson last year and what he did on the ground against a defense that was in the college football playoff, when you look at, he had multiple games over 300 yards. This kid is stupid talented. If he can get it right between the ears and he can go through his progressions and make better decisions, I think he could easily be a Heisman candidate this year.
Oh yeah, no, I agree with that part. I think the sky's the limit, and I think he can be a Heisman candidate. I think you're reaching to put him at number one. I think you're projecting a little too much. You're passing some awful proven guys in Nussmeier and Klubnik and everything. I think I just can't see him at number one. I think that's too big of a stretch.
It is funny though, because again, the thing, it's like I keep going back to situation. Like,
right,
where would you rank Sellers if he was on Clemson? Where would you rank Sellers if he was on Penn State? Then he almost assuredly would be one or two on any of these.
I don't know how much it's changing. I don't know. It's so hard to, because he's just a different quarterback than Drew Aller is. Like, do they change their entire offense? Like, obviously, if they try to run the Drew Aller offense, Lenoris Sellers is not going to work.
No, I mean, it's a flawed logic that I'm employing. I'm just saying the only thing that, like, Sellers from just raw talent, in my opinion, clearly seems like the 1-1 guy.
I think he's getting a lot of respect for an 18 touchdown, 7 interception season, where he was pretty good throwing the ball, elite at running the ball.
Yeah.
I don't know that pretty good throwing and elite running the ball is the mixture to be the number one quarterback in the country.
To have 3,200 yards and 25 total touchdowns as a redshirt freshman, and again, when you look at what happened in the second half of the season, I mean, those are crazy stats for a redshirt freshman. And this could be the dumbest take of all time when we get to the end of the season, but I chose to do this list with high risk, high reward, because I'm looking at it, I'm saying, okay. And again, I'm not comparing him to Drew Aller. Drew Aller is obviously way more experienced and way more achieved as a college football quarterback. I believe we've seen Drew Aller's ceiling. I don't think we've seen anywhere near Lenoris Sellers' ceiling. And if that's the case, what he did in the second half last year, I think that it could be an incredible season for them. Now, I do completely agree with you, T-Bob. The situation at South Carolina is not near as good as LSU or near as good as even maybe Florida, but I think he is that good. And in a year where we don't really have a lot of proven superstar quarterbacks, because we really don't, like Klubnik being like the number one proven guy, like that to me is like, why not take a risk and say, hey, this kid's got everything, but really just trying to develop, whether it's decision-making, whether it's progressions, whatever it may be. I think he's going to be fucking phenomenal.
It's fine on Sellers and everything. I just do want to push back one more time on one more thing. I don't think we've come close to Drew Aller's ceiling. I think
Franklin holds him back. How you talk about Napier and Lagway, that's kind of, because
Kotelnicki really got that offense humming last year.
He got it going last year. But like 2 years ago, Aller had one pick. That's not actually good to me. That shows me that Franklin had his balls in a fucking vice grip. And last year he started to loosen up a little bit. But like the only way Aller's going to be the guy that we believe he can be is if Franklin actually gets to the side and lets him go for it. Now, and I got questions about whether he will.
He went out and got Kyron Hudson. He went out and got Pena. He wouldn't have spent the capital to get him if he didn't know what he had.
I also, when I say we don't see his ceiling, like I don't think they're winning a national championship. I don't think they're the best team in the country. And again, that's just my opinion. And I don't think it's by any stretch his fault. But like, to me, what they did last year was great. And then they go and, in Notre Dame obviously played a hell of a game. But to me, I don't think that it gets better for Penn State than what they've done last year. I could be completely wrong there. But I also am very high on, the guys in front of him. Again, Arch Manning being ranked on all of our lists, by the way, like we're fully projecting. So I'm leaning into the projection there, and maybe I am ranking Drew Aller a little bit too low, but I I just don't see it. I just
also
don't
with Arch being on there. I mean, we cannot ignore the fact, something that Peyton talked about a couple of weeks ago, the advantage that Arch has in that he has been in the Sarkisian system now going on year 3.
Yeah.
And Peyton's like a massive believer in fully learning the system. That's another thing with sellers that I don't love, like Liam mentioned, like losing your OC. That fucking sucks when you're trying to build continuity and you're trying to grow mentally and learn the system inside out. So like Arch is new, but we've seen him play. We know he has incredible talent all around him. And he's been in that system 3 years with almost no coaching turnover. So, like, it's actually not that much of a projection for all of us to have in the top 10. Like, it literally is, but the fact of the matter that he hasn't played a ton, but it's really not that much of a stretch when you just look at the situation.
Well, all of these lists, I mean, I know, Brandon, you mentioned some guys that weren't on here. I mean, you know, you talk about, like even Dante Moore at Oregon, like a lot of people are high on that. There's a lot of guys that haven't made these lists, but there is some projection to it. But Liam, I have to ask you, of all the lists, I'm not talking about which one of us, but which one was the biggest? I assume South Carolina was the loudest fan base, but which one do you think pissed people off the most?
Like whose list?
No, just in general. Like when you saw all these come out, like what was the over?
I mean, it was me having Lenoris at 10 that got the most hate, and then other than that, it was Arch Manning being ranked in the top 5 or 6. Which again, like, I mean, how can you? There's a reason that he was knocking on the door of stealing Ewer's job last year for so long, and he never really got it, even though Ewers had the injury and everything. And like, I think Sark was too big of a coward. I think Sark should have just given Arch the keys last year, is what it is. We're on to 2025. Also, Aller gets a lot of hate. Brandon already talked about it. Aller gets way too much hate, and social media loves to hate Aller. And Brandon already said on Mostly last week, people love to cling on to these narratives from 2 years ago and act like it matters and holds up in the current day and age, and it just doesn't. And the talking points from 2 years ago mean nothing on July 21st, 2025.
And I will, like, hand up, that will, like, I can absolutely admit that that's still in my head, but I still don't think that he is, when you look at the guys I put in front of him, I don't think that I'm going to look at the end of the season and be like, wow, Drew Aller was that much better than those guys.
I think it's a learning curve and learning period the last 2 years with James Franklin and Drew Aller, because Drew Aller is not the prototypical James Franklin quarterback. The James Franklin ideal quarterback is a 6'2" white guy who could run up the gut for 6 yards every now and then, just gritty, grindy.
Aller did that all the time last year.
And he makes Aller do it.
Yes, exactly. Aller's a peacock. You got to let him fly, and Franklin won't.
Correct. So correct.
Can peacocks fly?
Yes.
No, I looked this up at the zoo the other day. They do like with the chicken zoo where they jump fly.
They flutter.
I can't remember what the exact word for it is, but they can, because we saw a peacock on top of a building at the zoo, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, they can jump and fly.
Yeah, a peacock literally flies at the end of the other guys. But the point is, James Franklin and Drew Aller are actually not a good fit for one another, yet they're having to make this work and make this happen. If Drew Aller was playing college football at a different school, the peacock would have flown a heck of a lot by now.
By the way, peacocks can fly short distance. Not long, but they can fly. Wow.
And Blutman, to that point, and that's where, and again, maybe it's just I'm ridiculously hard on Penn State for whatever reason, a personal vendetta. I don't know. But what you just said is my issue, because it's whether it's Drew Aller taking the next step to win them a national title or James Franklin taking the next step to win a national title. I just don't see either one of those things happening, because maybe they're not the match meant to be. And maybe if Drew Aller was somewhere else, he would be a Heisman winner. He would win a national title, but he's with James Franklin. And I just can't get past that, because again, we've seen enough from James Franklin for sure over the last decade. We've seen enough for Drew Aller. It's like, what is going to fix in this offseason for that to finally be over at Penn State? And I just don't think it happens this year.
Yeah, I mean, I just know they're not winning a national championship because on a money drive with 2 minutes left, down 3 in a playoff game, Kotelnicki's going to dial up their left guard under center, and Drew Aller's playing tight end. Like, what?
Creative play calling.
All right.
There it is. Okay, so
by the way, I just watched a video of a peacock flying, and it's
like
fucking unbelievable. They look so heavy and lumbering. There is no fucking way that thing should be flying.
When you say
It's like you flying.
Yes, it literally looks like me flying with a sexy tail feather.
Mm-hmm.
when you say jump fly, you know, like when little kids like jump in the air and pretend
Yeah.
like they're gonna fly,
Yeah,
that's what I was picturing in my head. Like that's what I
No,
was picturing.
I saw a peacock achieve actual full-on flight. I hope to see Dural. It actually would look like Duraller flying, to be fair. A little lumbering, a little slow, but you can see kind of the raw power nonetheless.
And
All right.
Brandon would be very happy if Drew Aller could fly like a peacock.
We'll see.
I know. All right. So Wayfair, we've talked about Wayfair a lot. Brandon, I know that you have an incredible outdoor space out there. You live right on a lake and you got all of your outdoor furniture from Wayfair. I actually recently, I know I said this, I think on our last podcast, my son has reached the status where he wants to sit at the big table. So I needed to get him a specific chair. Wayfair had it so easily. It was there by the next week. Easy to put together. It has literally anything that you could possibly need. You can shop patio tables, grills, dishware, storage, anything that you want. Wayfair has it. It's fast and easy shipping. And of course, it's every style, every budget. So if you're listening to this and you're going off to college in the fall and you want to get your dorm room ready, your apartment, your house, whatever, ready for college, you've got that. If you just need one little tiny thing or you want to redo an entire house, Wayfair has it. And of course, we are still in the summer. Shop outdoor furniture, grills, lawn games, and way, way more for way less. They have a great app, super easy to find anything you want. Head to wayfair.com or download the app right now and explore the huge outdoor and indoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style for every home. All right, Brandon, you had a little game for us. I'm gonna lead it. Well, I guess, do you want to do either or do you want to do your question first?
I want to do not enough hype.
Okay, then let's go. So Brandon sit in the group text. Very simple homework. Which team on July 21st, right? 2025. So about a month away from kickoff is not getting enough hype quite yet. And of course, as we do in the group texters, like, do we let the chips fall? We decided nobody knows each other's yet. So that makes this fun. So I'm going to let Liam go first. We're going to go opposite order. Liam, who is not getting enough hype this offseason?
I did bring 5.
Oh, you're saying one.
I am saying 1.
And you can come back.
I was prepared not to go first.
You can go last. You want to go last?
Yeah.
You go last? Okay,
Yeah.
You go last. Okay.
Clement's a good cleanup guy because he's going to have everybody.
Yeah, always last.
That was a rookie mistake by me. You're right. He always has to clean up. Okay, Ev, I'll have you go first. Who's not getting enough hype?
Oh yeah, I'll talk about it. I've talked about him enough. I really like Georgia Tech. I'm just a big Haynes King guy, big Brent Key guy. I really love the offensive line. That was a strong point last year. Brought a lot of that back. Haynes King back, and they brought in Eric Rivers, dominant stud receiver for FIU. I think he's going to be one of the most dynamic playmakers in the ACC. Listen, I think Clemson's going to win this conference, no doubt, but I really think Georgia Tech's going to be right there, like over the win total, competing for it. I think they'll give Clemson a very good game. They play them early in the year. That's obviously a huge game for them. But yeah, I'm really, really high in Georgia Tech, like their win total over. And I think they have a chance to compete to be one of those top few teams in the ACC for sure. Yeah, I really like Georgia Tech.
Okay, Brandon, I saw you sneaking a peek over there.
Well, he doesn't have anything up, and I was trying to see.
I do have my stuff up.
I was trying to see.
Your eyes are bad. You're old.
I was bluffing because I can't see that far.
But what I was
me too.
Before we do that, though, I was going to say, I know you like Haynes King too. So what do you think about Georgia Tech being underhyped?
No. Well, see, I think he's right in the sense that they are a team that can upset the apple cart in the in the ACC. They got two things. They got a quarterback and they got toughness, and they showed that last year. And if you got a quarterback and toughness, you can really make noise in a conference like the ACC. The only way I would push back on Big Ev a little bit here is I think they are probably getting enough hype. I think they're getting hype. Maybe they're not going to start.
There's an undercurrent that's been growing as of late.
But maybe it's just ball knowers like us.Maybe I'm too close to it. Maybe casuals aren't doing it.
And I was the Haynes King guy before last season.
Yeah, you were. You
kind of gave me some flack for it, and he played a really good year.
He was really good. I like him. The way I look at it, the way I look at the hype here, will this team be preseason top 25? And Georgia Tech probably won't be. So I guess that should slide.
Yeah. I will say this, like Haynes King, I know that obviously he has a tumultuous history with A&M, but he's one of those guys that like I want to see succeed. Like he's not a guy that, like left A&M and I'm like, oh, fuck off. Like he seems like a kid that like you root for somehow.
How could you watch last year's Georgia Georgia game? And if you didn't know about Haynes King going in, how could you watch that game and not fall in love with him?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that was the most wear and tear, all red, fucking throw your body on the line for the boys game that I'm still heartbroken that he didn't break through and beat Georgia. Cause like, I don't know if Brent Key ever will. I do like
well, if his damn offensive coordinator would have ran him in the overtime instead of throwing it 6 times in a row.
I know.
Yeah,
that's why I'm with you. Go ahead, Kayce.
Oh no, I was gonna say he's like like I don't want to say lovable because that doesn't sound like the right word, but you find yourself rooting for him for whatever reason it may be.
It's a throwback.
I feel like Georgia Tech, Georgia Tech could be ranked number 1 and it would still just be like, damn, like we love to see Georgia Tech there. You know what I mean? There's something about it with them.
Well, yeah, they have it. I mean, look, we have nobody in here has suffered at the hands of Georgia Tech.
That's
so
right.
It's easy to have love for them. It's like when Big Head was head patting Penn State earlier. And it was like, oh, they're not, I kind of like them. They're fine. It's like, well, of course, you've never actually like that. You beat their ass every time.
Be careful throwing that around.
I will say, Mississippi State,
True, my bad.
probably awesome. I will say, as much as I like root for him, if he somehow got Georgia Tech like into the college football playoff or like on a national level like that, it would make me hate Jimbo Fisher so much fucking more. I would be like, are you serious, man? Like, this is your fault, guy. Like, so I will preface that. Okay, T-Bob, who's underhyped?
I love Brent Key, Georgia Tech's head coach, too. He's the reason why they could maybe actually do it this year. All right, my number 1 underhype. A lot of it is based off of a quarterback that was mentioned, but not on any of our lists. He is first on my list of top 10 guys that can make the top 10, but aren't immediately outside of the top 10, and that is Pittsburgh and Eli Holstein.
Okay.
So Pittsburgh last year started 7-0. Okay. And the Pick Six previews, which we all love, they have a metric called game grade, and you don't need to know anything about it except that it's just trying to give an objective score to how well you played in any given game. Pittsburgh started 7-0. They were top 20 in the country in game grade. Then Eli Holstein gets hurt and everything falls apart. They finish by losing 6 consecutive games. In that stretch, they're bottom 20 or bottom 10 in the country game grade. So it was truly a feast or famine deal last year. That was Eli Holstein's first year starting. He's a great runner, great thrower. He's tough. He returns All-American running back Desmond Reed, only player in the country with over 500 rush yards and 500 receiving yards. He returns 3 starting offensive linemen. It's year 2 with his offensive coordinator, who I'm blanking on right now. Where'd he come from?
Bell from Western Carolina.
Yes, Cade Bell from Western Carolina. Year 2 in the Bell system. Year 2 of him starting. The biggest leap you take as a player is from year 1 to year 2. I don't think they win the ACC, but I think this could absolutely be a top 25 Pitt team by the end of the year. And even if they're not, even if the defense sucks because they don't recruit well and they didn't really do much in the portal, this will be a very exciting offense with one of the more impressive quarterbacks in the entire country by year's end.
Brandon?
Well, first of all, I wrote down 5 teams. I wrote down 5 teams, and I gave 2 of them these extended write-ups because I was going to pivot from my number 1 if they weren't here. My number 1 is here. My number 2 that I wrote down was Pitt.
Hey, there you go.
I like Pitt a lot. They went from 116th in scoring to 31st last year. They Holstein's great. Desmond Reed, you said everything. I don't have to pump your tires up. So the number 1 ball knower in the country is up.
Where is he?
I'm going back.
Liam?
I'm going back to somebody who's done very well with me before. I'm going back to Eli Drinkwitz. I'm going back to Missouri.
I love it.
The last 2 years.
Brandon drives the Missouri bus.
The last 2 years, Ole Miss and Missouri are the exact same team.
Yes.
They both went 11-2 2 years ago. They both beat a big-time Big Ten team in a bowl game. They both went 9-3 against an easy-ass schedule last year.
Yep.
Ole Miss is rewarded with that by being in the top 15 all year, will be preseason top 15 this year despite replacing their quarterback. Missouri is somehow not rewarded that way. They are looked at as lesser than Ole Miss. They're the exact same team. Lane Kiffin and Eli Drinkwitz are the exact same coach as far as success at their new schools. Eli Drinkwitz is very, very, very good. Except one of them went out and had a top 10 transfer portal class this year. One of them goes out and gets Bo Perbula. One of them goes out. They got Bo Perbula. They got Ahmad Hardy from Louisiana. UL Monroe.
Yes.
Yeah. They got Ahmad Hardy, and they got top 10 transfer portal class. They're going to. Last year they weren't that good. They were 9-3. Their schedule was easy, but they're getting better. You can count on him having a good team every single year, and nobody in the world's talking about him. In the SEC, we're talking about Ole Miss. We're talking about Auburn. What the fuck has Auburn done to be given this spot? We're talking about Oklahoma. Oklahoma's going to be a preseason top 15. What the fuck has Venables done? Nothing. And Drinkwitz has done it. He's got 19 wins over the last 2 years. He's been 21 wins. Excuse me. He's 21-5 over the last 2 years. Their first 6 games, by the way, are at home. That schedule he had last year that helped them go, they got it again. Oklahoma, they got that hysterically bad schedule. Texas got an easy schedule. Missouri got an easy ass schedule. Their first 6 are at home. There were 6 teams in the SEC last year with losing records.
Yeah.
Mizzou plays 5 of them.
I know. Yeah.
Mizzou plays 5 of them. They got South Carolina. They got Alabama. They got A&M at home. Their road games are at Auburn, at Vandy, at Arkansas, and at Oklahoma. If I were drawing up who I'd want to play on the road this year in the SEC, it might look a lot like that. It might look very much like that. This is a team. There's a good coach. He doesn't get the credit he deserves. Missouri is not being talked about at all. They'll probably be like preseason top 40. They'll be that far out. And I think at the end of the year, they could be a 10-2 team again.
I mean, to your credit, you've been saying this for years. And I know that, Missouri fans tried to, get into the college ball playoff conversation at the end of the season last year, which was laughable. But really, what has changed for them? I mean, I love that you drive this bus. Like, this to me is like, this is the Brandon Walker bus to be driven.
It is.
What's interesting to me, though, is like, I assume they're going 10-2.
Their parallel with Ole Miss is shocking because
I do think that's interesting as far as disconnects go, because we talk about Ole Miss way more.
Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss gets so much more credit.
Yeah.
So much more credit than Missouri gets.
Lane's also much louder.
They played a tougher schedule last year.
Bigger wins, too. I mean,
Ole Miss played an easy schedule last year, too.
No, Ole Miss is on the
Georgia
easier side, but they did beat Georgia.
They do have the win. They also lost to Kentucky.
They played South Carolina.
People forget that.
So they lost to Kentucky. They lost this is a team that lost games that should have won. They lost to Florida.
To your point, Mizzou through this easy schedule is achieving an impressive amount of consistency, considering off that 11-2 season, they bring back Brady Cook, they bring back Luther Burden. Those guys sucked. Yeah. Brady Cook didn't do anything last year. Burden didn't do anything last year, and they still managed to cobble together 9-3. So that tells me is Drinkwitz is doing a good job of building out the roster. Also, they don't get talked about this a lot. I mean, they're the flagship. Like, they're the only school in the state, right?
Well,
people give a fuck
also
about.
Portal-wise, they dominated this offseason. They went out and got Georgia transfers at linebacker. They got the big-time transfers at linebacker, at defensive end, at every level of the defense. They got dudes. They didn't just go they didn't go to Middle Tennessee State and get their starting defensive end. They went out and got guys.
Do you think that so? But here's my question, because I just assume at this point, I didn't give them 10-2. I just assume Mizzou with that schedule, they'll go 9-3 and whatever. They'll win 2 games in the bowl game maybe. But are you telling me you think actual playoff noise?
I'm telling you they could be in the like last year, South Carolina 9-3 right outside the playoff. Could Missouri do that this year? Yeah, I think they could. And I think they could be a 10-2 team this year. I think this is a good team, a consistent team. We look at we crown other teams in this conference as being something they're not while ignoring Missouri, and I don't know why.
What do you think their win total is?
I would say it's probably 8.5, maybe 9.
7.5. The under is -155.
Wow.
So I could really
again +130 to win 8 games or more.
That might be. I might have to run back. They were my big time win total a couple of years ago. They might be it again.
The Ahmad Hardy acquisition. they did go to the little school for him, he's going to be one of the best running backs in the country.
I think you can get a running back that way more than you can get a defensive end. I'm
telling you, he's going to be one of the top 5-7 running backs in the country. I can't wait to watch his first carry, Brandon. It's going to hit like that first Sweet Tarps gummy rope out the package. It's going to hit that hard.
Did you say tarp?
I did on accident. I have a speech impediment. I think.
Yeah, well,
that's a mouthful. You gotta hit him. You gotta be like, hits like crack cocaine.
No,
he doesn't know what the hits like.
I don't think
Brandon told me to do stuff that would hit in my life, like that first ice cold root beer on a Sunday morning,
or that first hard iced tea, twisted tea, perfect drink for every Saturday.
This is the thing, Ev. It's like, you've never done crack cocaine. I've never done crack cocaine. But if we said it, people could be like, well, maybe they tried it once. No one's questioning if Liam Blutman's ever tried it. Like,
but no one's no one's ever thrown their life away for a Nerd's gummy rope.
That's a good point.
Okay.
Well, you don't know that.
True, I guess
the last thing on Missouri before I give mine, I will say, T-Bob, you were giving me shit earlier about A&M and what they've done. I mean, Missouri, when it, won the SEC East, twice in a row, right away.
They came in hot. They came in hot back in the day. Yeah.
Missouri has always, since the entrance into the SEC, they've had their down years, obviously, but they came in right away, hey, and granted the East was much easier.
But that was a bad East. I was about to say that was taking advantage of a power vacuum that Mizzou was like, oh fuck, I guess we just get to go to Atlanta now. Yeah. Okay,
sure. But their name has been there. And listen, I am not saying that I think Missouri is a great SEC team, but it's not like it's, they're like the tiny little, shitty team this entire time. But now here's mine. And this is where I kind of said it with Carson Beck earlier, where it's like the hype, and then you go to a total reversal. And now I feel like there's some underhype for this team. And it's a team we talk about all the time. And I mentioned him in the quarterback rankings that I saw some. I think that we are so underhyping Nebraska. And I understand that we're saying I'm not saying they're going to win a national title. I'm not saying that they're going to be a top 5 team, but the hype going into last season with Dylan Raiola and with Matt Rule in his second year and all the things that were going to happen. And it was this could be the team. They could really get it done. They could compete with the big boys, and they had a disappointing season, but then you look, they finally went to a bowl game. I mean, it had been decades. I know they still have a crazy long losing streak against top 10 teams, but they broke that. They beat, the hyped up Colorado team. They beat Wisconsin. They had all these things on the plate. And then you look at Matt Rule's career, and he's not a guy that goes in year one. And I understand he's still a young guy, whatever, but year 3 with Matt Rule, with this quarterback and with this athletic talent, it feels like Nebraska just doesn't exist unless you're a Cornhuskers fan. It feels like in the Big Ten right now, it's well, poor little Nebraska, are they going to make a bowl game? Well, they got over that hump, and it's almost like that quietly. I mean, I understand they played in the Pinstripe Bowl. Fine. Getting to a bowl game was so big for that program, getting a quarterback that needs that experience, getting a young kid, another offseason, working with a coach that we know can develop players. I think people aren't talking about Nebraska, and I think that we're going to look in the middle of the season and be like, this team took a massive step building off the momentum of 2024.
So I agree with you that they're in line to get the Matt Rule year 3 treatment here. I think maybe I'm wondering, because I'm someone who's been trying to call this now with Nebraska for the last 2 years, kind of banging this drum only to be disappointed. I think right now the biggest critique of Rule is that although a lot of elements have changed, right? I like some of their new refound toughness and grit, building through the line, building through the classic Nebraska persona. Too many of the ways in which they lose somehow remain the same, which lead you to think that maybe this is some sort of paranormal curse that the Huskers are dealing with, because there is no reason why any program in the world should have suffered as many late game heartbreaking collapses than have the Nebraska Cornhuskers, from Scott Frost all the way through Matt Rule. Now, again, I'm a Rule believer. I'm a leader in the Corn Hub.
You're a Rule follower?
I love Dylan Raiola. I am a Rule follower. I hope you are correct. I hope you are. College football is better when Nebraska is good.
Brandon hates that.
I hate that phrase.
I love it.
Hates it.
You probably, I don't know.
College football is fine no matter who's good.
But, okay, so I think this is what I'll say. When I say that, and I think this is when a lot of people use that, it's almost like a placeholder for nostalgia.
Yeah.
I grew up with Nebraska being
there.
I want Nebraska to be good because in my mind they should be good. They are good.
That's what you're saying. It is better to you. See, Tennessee fans are the ones that abused it a couple years ago when they got to number one, and they're all their columnists started writing think pieces. Yeah, college football is better when Tennessee is good. No, it's better for you, idiot.
Well, because that's how it was when we were growing up.
Yeah,
Tennessee was good.
Yeah.
Right. No,
so you're right. You're right. That's how I'm using it.
Yeah.
The same thing with me. And I've told this to Bob, and like I grew up next in the Dallas area next to a house full of Cornhuskers. They all graduated from Nebraska. And so I watched that growing up, how much fun it was. So I feel the same way, but I do feel like it's the reverse effect of what we were doing last summer about Nebraska, where it's like we were way overhyping Dylan Raiola because of how young he was going into 2024, and now we're way underhyping Nebraska. And I could be wrong, but I mean that is a place that craves a football team that is so good and has been starving for so long. So we'll see.
Kayce, to your
Raiola too, he hit a fucking wall.
To your point, well, yeah, he was
because he's too busy cosplaying.
To your point, Kayce, I think so much of what we remember about a team and how we define them as good is based on schedule. See the Indiana Hoosiers last year. I've been looking all off season to see who in this country can be the Indiana of this year, who can be pretty good, but absolutely be propped up by a bad schedule. And I think Nebraska might be the answer here.
I was looking at their schedule earlier for that reason. And I mean, they've got a couple tough ones, but
they open with Cincinnati and Kansas City, Missouri. That's a Nebraska home game. They have Akron, Houston Christian, and they have Michigan and Michigan State at home back to back. That's their first 5 games.
With a bye between Michigan and Michigan State too.
Their next 2 games are on the road. And if I could choose to go anywhere, they're going at Maryland and at Minnesota.
Well, you don't want to go in the gopher hole.
If we're a pretty good team, if I could pick my first 2 road games in the Big Ten, I might pick those 2 teams. They have Northwestern at home, USC at home.
Northwestern on the road.
They're at UCLA, and of course they're at Penn State, which is tough. They got Iowa at home. I think they could be favored in 10 games this year.
Yeah.
Very favorable schedule. And I mean that again, it goes back to losing divisions, just in all the conferences. It's like you forget that like these schedules are not equal. And it's almost like you said, T-Bob, it's like you want them to be good for whatever reason it may be. Like they actually have an opportunity. If they can't be successful with this schedule, with the athletic talent that they do have, then like the Nebraska fans are just doomed under this.
And they've invested so much. Matt Rule has gotten people to buy back in. Like if they can't do it now, you kind of gotta give up hope completely.
Okay, Liam, how many of your 5 are still left?
5.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, look. Who let bro cook?
Go ahead and cook.
So this time last year, I would have been talking Indiana to all of you, and I would have been very correct about that, which is neat.
You were talking about Indiana this time last year to us.
Yeah.
That's true.
So as you're trying to find the next Indiana, I'm using the same type of formula where I'm eyeing the schedule. I'm eyeing key players who are bound to take next up big time breakout seasons. Starts in the Big Ten. They're plus 6,000 to win the Big Ten. Washington, I don't think they will be winning the Big Ten. They're plus 1,800 to make the title game. Maybe, I don't know, but they're plus 900 to make the playoff. And if Indiana could make the playoff, I don't see why Washington can't. And yes, they're like 2 years removed from national championship appearance, but it's a whole new regime. It's Jed Fish's squad. They've got great key players. Damon Williams, who we haven't even talked about despite talking quarterback list. He's bound for a big time breakout season, has a great RB1, Jonah Coleman, has a terrific alpha WR1 in Denzel Boston. Tacario Davis, who is with Fish at Arizona, is here to play CB, and they've got a great versatile DB in Rayshawn Clark. When you look at their schedule, their 2 toughest games are Ohio State and Oregon. Oregon's the closer.
They get the big 3 though. They get Michigan as well.
They do get Michigan. Michigan's on the road. The toughest 2 games are both at home though, and I don't see why Washington against Oregon's not some auto loss. Like, yeah, I don't think they're going to be Ohio State, but I could see a world where Washington goes 10-2. And maybe splits the Michigan and Oregon games or something. I don't think it's far-fetched to say, hey, they went 11-1. It's a very nice schedule, and I'd be looking at Washington to have a big-time year where, yeah, they could win 10 games. 2 is Utah. It starts with Devin Dampier. They've got Spencer Fano at the OT, really good defense. I just look at their schedule, man. Yeah, it's the Big 12. I don't think that there's too tough of a game. I don't think there's that too easy of a game. But Utah, I see as an 11-win team, maybe a 12-0 team. I don't feel like people are buying into Utah because they have PTSD from it. Well, I've never bought into Utah, so I don't have the same PTSD, and I'm ready to buy in.
By the way, Liam, Utah, the number 2 5-year recruiting ranking. Like if you look at 5 recruiting rankings over the last 5 years, trailing number 2 in the Big 12, right behind TCU. Also 15th in game grade last year. So
you like that?
I like Utah. I had Utah. That was one of mine on my list.
They are plus 600 to win the Big 12, which I think is a bit too low. I'd have it more in the 380 range, plus 280 to make the title, plus 450 to make the playoff. You guys all sprinkled in some talk about the ACC, Brandon.
Yeah.
The ACC's wide open right after Clemson. I went in a different direction. I think it's Louisville. I think Miller Moss going in there, Isaac Brown, Chris Bell, great 1, 2, 3. McKalen Pounders is a really good offense tackle. D'Angelo Hutchinson at safety is going to be a stud. They have a schedule where they're at Miami. They're hosting Clemson on Friday night. Don't think they beat Clemson, but hey, Friday night, things crazy in college football. Maybe they get it done. I don't know. I look at Louisville as a potential 10-win team. Then I'll just go quickly. James Madison. Some bad news there today, which I'll get to. But James Madison has a schedule where their toughest games at Louisville, and the rest of them, I think they should be able to win out. They have Wazoo too, late second last game, which is bizarre, hosting Wazoo, but I know Wazoo needs that because Pac-12 died and everything, and now it's about whatever. James Madison, they're going to run a potential 2-quarterback system when Barnett comes back from injury. I'm buying stock in Matthew Sluka after I sold stocks. I'm playing the stock game. I'm good at stocks. You invest in Sluka.
You sold it high it low. Yeah.
Correct. So we're back in on Sluka, Petaway, Isaiah Alston, another one where you sold the stock high at Iowa State and now you're buying low at JMU. Mekhi Rogers is a demon at corner. JMU, team to watch in the Group of 5 playoff scene, but we haven't even talked about him. Tulane, Jake Retzlaff walking on to Tulane. Tulane has become a massive player. They have a tough schedule. They play Northwest. Okay, yeah, they have a tough schedule and they play Northwestern and Duke, but that's a Group of 5 scene. You're at Ole Miss as well, and they have at Memphis too. I still think Tulane just made a big time play where they got a quarterback with so much arm talent, gunslinger, fearless, that could completely catapult them into that playoff talk. So I like as a true playoff contender in the best Group of 5 team in the country, I think Tulane today just became the best Group of 5 team in the country. And they're coached by an elite talent who somehow Conley didn't have as one of the best coaches in America, John Summerall.
So I think, okay, so I actually have an inside source in this Retzlaff story.
Ooh.
So John Summerall, who I agree with you, one of the best coaches in the entire country. John Summerall's a widespread Panic fan.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
I'm out on Tulane.
Which means that Ben Mintz and John Summerall have talked. And I was not the biggest Jake Retzlaff guy, but I'm talking to Mincy earlier, and I was like, I mean, he's not as good as Mintza. And, you know, I was maybe led to believe that someone said, look, Minsa's good, but we kind of made it easy for Minsa last year. Like we set him up to succeed. Yeah. And so what happens now? What could they do with Retzlaff? Because, I mean, we do agree, like the Mintz joking aside, we all agree that John Summerall is one of the top coaches in the entire country, probably next in line.
Yeah.
What about fit as well? You mentioned being a Jewish quarterback, attending BYU. I mean, he got kicked out for having fucking sex.
Yeah.
It's an odd life that he was forced to live. Now there's a heavy Jewish population at the University of Tulane. He's going to be in New Orleans where he can have all the sex that he wants. The only part I don't like, Liam, it's late to the party. The timing of it kind of sucks. He does not have long to learn this system, to get with his receivers, to get with his teammates, but they did get significantly better today picking him up.
Yes, they did. Shalom.
I asked Liam this, and not that we need to get in a whole debate about it, but how do they prove when these guys get in trouble? How do they prove that they actually had sex?
Let me smell that dick, boy. Let me sniff that thing.
This one in particular was.
I mean, there was some
potential evidence, and I think, hey, the rape allegedly did not happen, but the sex did.
Okay, no, I know with that one, but because there was allegations around this guy.
I generally think one of the parties just says it happened. I think that's how usually it goes.
Yeah, I mean, Swag Daddy Jamal Williams, he was having sex at BYU. He paid the price. Still made big in the NFL.
Did y'all go to a? Did anybody here go to like a very Christian high school?
No.
Yeah,
I went to a Catholic high school, but they didn't care who was having sex.
Okay, because mine did, and people break in the interrogation room. You know, like I don't know what other way to put it.
That's so creepy.
They shine the light on you.
All right.
They start questioning if you're banging, and
Back to
people's conscience gets to them sometimes.
Okay, hey,
back to football. Hold on.
Football.
What's banging?
Well,
Go ahead.
banging on Bowl and Branch
football.
sheets. I don't know if they'd be okay with me saying that. But
Oh boy.
hey, listen, we love Bowl and Branch. T-Bob, I will tell you as a new partner of this podcast, you've got to get your hands on some Bowl and Branch sheets because they are made. We all have them. They're phenomenal. 100% of the finest organic.
Can you tell them I'm moving into a new house next week?
Yeah,
They want to,
yes.
let me try some out.
No, they're honestly I say this a lot about different sponsors like these. Like I have not only like multiple sets of sheets. I know you have a toddler. My son sleeps on the crib sheets like a king. They have phenomenal pajamas. They've got robes. They've got the whole thing. It's breathable. So if like you're a hot sleeper or your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whatever, whoever you're sleeping next to is a hot sleeper, like Bowl and Branch sheets, it doesn't matter because they are so breathable. They have the quality that you can feel immediately, and they come with a 30-night worry-free guarantee. So if you don't like them, you can send them back. Big fans of Bowl and Branch over here. Ev, I know you got them when you moved. I know Brandon has them. My favorite thing when I come home from vacation or when I'm traveling or whatever is to get in bed because my sheets are that good. They really, really are that good. And as Brandon says, nobody knows sheets like me, right, Brandon?
I do say that. I do be saying that.
Let me smell them sheets.
I do be saying that.
Let me give me
So
a
anyway,
sniff.
so, hey, listen, no, but really though, Bowl and Branch is the best. They've been friends of ours for a long time. So you get 20% off site-wide plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bowlandbranch.com/rough. That's BOLLAND branch.com/rough. Again, 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. Great gifts too, by the way. Fantastic gifts. And I say this, fellas, especially the fellas, girls too, obviously you want good sheets, but girls usually know. Fellas, if you are going to college this fall,
Yeah.
let me tell you something right now. Girls care about nice sheets. They notice. If you have shitty sheets, they will notice. I'm telling you this from the kindness of my heart as an 36-year-old, okay? I'm telling you, they notice. So go get your Bowl and Branch sheets, okay? Invest in them.
Let me wrap up what we were talking about. We were talking about the not enough hype teams.
Yes.
I said I had 5.
Yeah.
And I'll wrap it up real quick. I had Missouri, obviously. I had Pitt that you said.
Yep.
I had Louisville that he said. There were 2 more that didn't get said. I don't think TCU is getting enough hype. And this one hurts. I don't think Iowa's getting enough.
I almost put them.
I think Iowa is really, really, really flying under the radar. Everybody's goo-goo-eyed about Illinois and about Indiana and about these teams that don't do it on a year-to-year basis. And there's a team that does it on a year-to-year basis, and we're acting like they just don't exist.
Yeah.
It is interesting that I eyed Iowa simply because, not even looking at their roster, not looking at anything, simply because of their projected finish. Where it's like, okay, now hold up now.
If they can ever get any quarterback play, if they can get anywhere, now they got Gronowski coming. If they can get 75% of really good quarterback play, they're going to take a step forward. Mm-hmm. If it ever happens, this should be the year it happens. Like,
they were really close to being on my list. They're really close. Nwamka on defense at safety. I think he's one of the premier at his position in the league. Moulton's going to be really good.
They lost a running back, but Iowa's a running back.
Come in, be a seamless fit. Yeah, their offensive line. Yeah. Their offensive line's a bunch of massive, just gigantic men who grew up on farms and are just phenomenal at football, have extreme strength. I think I was a great call, Brand. I'm happy that you would that's why you're number 1 in the biz. You could put things aside.
The glazing is a bit much.
TCU's kind of an enemy too.
It's a no glaze summer.
It's a no glaze summer.
It's a no glaze summer?
Yeah.
Well, then what was that?
He's just talking.
Oh, that wasn't glaze. It's like actually impossible to glaze.
It's impossible to glaze. No glaze.
Okay, my bad. I misunderstood.
I will say, Brandon, to even say something remotely positive about Iowa is a good thing. He can't glaze them because he hates them so much, but that means you really put your bias aside, and I'm proud of you.
You had your hand raised.
Well, I got 3 teams that don't technically fit this because I don't believe in them, but they're teams that should be way better.
Yeah.
USC.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for USC to be bad in the Big Ten.
Well, this is a different topic entirely right here.
It kind of is, right? You should be better.
Oklahoma should be better.
To answer this, I think Oklahoma's going to be good this year, kind of. I don't know.
There's no excuse for Oklahoma to be as bad as they've been. There's no excuse for USC to be as bad as they've been.
USC, UNC, Wisconsin. Who should be better than they are? Because I was also kind of
hell of a discussion, man.
UNC has also recruited shockingly well. UNC they're 20th in the country in 5-year recruiting trail. And now they have Bill Belichick, in an ACC where there's no superpowers. I think all those teams should be way better than we think of them.
Well, Mac Brown was slumped over on his donkey at the end of a trail by the end. He was, they were coached by a skeleton at the end.
They had some obviously some pretty good quarterbacks along the way too. So
yeah, but I understand why they haven't been what their recruiting tells you this should be, because I just don't think they've had the right leadership. Now, it's interesting to say, well, this new guy who happens to be one of the greatest coaches in the history of organized sports, will he provide the leadership, or will he just be walking around looking at a 24-year-old the whole time? And by that, I mean his girlfriend and not one of his players.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's a good thing. Okay, so Brandon, you said you want to do either or next episode.
Yeah, we're going on 2 hours. I think we could save a topic right there.
2 hours, so back, by the way. So our new recording schedule, our new release schedule will be Tuesday mornings and Friday mornings until week 1. Then obviously we will go to 3 episodes a week. T-Bob's first episode, phenomenal. Obviously, if you're listening to
Thanks for having me, guys.
How you think it went?
I had a lot of fun. I love the dynamic in this room.
Hot too.
Love the varied opinions in this room. I had a lot of fun.
Well, we had fun too.
I apologize. I told you previously Big Ev was a ball knower, and he didn't do anything today to back that up.
I feel like you're still upset with him for the first 5 minutes of the show.
It is. I dummied him, and he's lashing out at the very end.
My question is, why dummy me? I have absolutely treated you like a king for years. Why are you dummying me? I know my team sucks. I'm trying to fight through it.
No, Brandon, I think sometimes you get upset with me because I hold you accountable. You made your little gestures about the 8-4 and this and that, which was lofty for Mississippi State, but I digress. You made your little SEC comment that you don't beat your chest. I just called you out. Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Not you personally. I'm saying there are a lot of SEC fans who do that, not just like the Tennessees of the world and this and that. You basically said you don't do it and then kind of did it when you said you don't do it.
That's what do we need to teach people to be smarter? How can you not see the nuance in what we're saying?
No,
I understand what you're saying. But in the moment, what I called out was you saying the 8-4 teams basically don't do that. But you're like, but we're just saying we're better than everyone else and they all stink.
I think that I've got some good news for you, Brandon.
Yeah.
I have found the graphic of record of 2025 opponents in 2024.
Yeah.
To our earlier points, Mizzou's at 76 and 76, easiest schedule in the league. Tennessee right ahead of them, 77. The Ole Miss, actually, not so far.
Ole Miss had an easy schedule.
They had an easy schedule. Don't worry, though, because Mississippi State has the second hardest schedule, with their opponents having a combined record of 103 and 56.
Florida got credit last year. Florida got credit for having the toughest schedule in the country, and then Florida State fell apart. We had the toughest schedule in the country. We played
you in Arkansas.
We played Texas. We played Tennessee. We played Ole Miss. We played everybody in the SEC. All 3 SEC playoff teams we played. We also played Ole Miss, who almost made it, and then we played Arizona State. We played the timing of us playing Arizona State is fucking crazy.
It is crazy.
You got the brakes beat off you by Toledo.
Yeah, no. What do you think we're saying here, Big Ev? Nobody said we were good. Our schedule's just awful.
I'm just saying it's
the best team in the MAC.
I don't know why God hates Arkansas and Mississippi State, and again, it's a bit of like.
I know why he hates Arkansas.
Why God hates Arkansas?
Yeah, they're bad people.
Arkansas? Wait, where's the Razorback beef? Oh, I guess A&M and Arkansas hate each other. That's true. That's true.
T-Bob, you have a lot to catch up on when it comes to unnecessary roughness beefs, because Brandon and I both have gone toe to toe with Arkansas fans, and they're the fucking worst.
I go toe to toe with everybody at this point. I'm almost like immune to it. I just go to Arkansas and South Carolina fans. I've realized they're just not different. They're all dumb.
I'm gonna stick my dick in the mashed potatoes.
just so you know, I loved Brett Bielema when he was at Arkansas. I actually really loved going to Fayetteville when I was working on the sidelines. Arkansas fans were the only ones that talked shit about my unborn son the year that I was, and that is a fact.
Well, now listen, hold on. Iowa fans did throw projectiles at him.
That is true. That is true. Now, Arkansas fans would actually go on Twitter to talk about my unborn child while I was pregnant during a football season. I'm just saying bad people.
Hey, Big Ev, it just means more. You know, until the Big Ten talks shit about an unborn baby, y'all got a lot of fucking ground to catch up.
Yeah.
We threw full beer cans at a pregnant woman, and then
never mind.
On Twitter, when it was brought up, not only did it but defended it and said essentially she was asking for it.
No,
she should have been dressed that way.
It literally not only went viral pretty recently, and it was not only did I ask for it because I have a show with Brandon, which is just crazy. Also, apparently I hadn't let everyone know that I was pregnant, so it was okay to do. Now, also that's not true because
you were huge.
Yeah, well, no, not in Iowa.
You never want to assume. You never want to.
I did get very, very, very big at the end, but beside the point. I had already announced it. Anyways, we have lots of beefs. I actually never hated Arkansas fans when I was, at A&M or even at ESPN. Now, buddy, I hate them. Okay, so like I was saying, every Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern, every Friday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern, we will be dropping new episodes until week 1. Obviously, if you're listening to this, we have a new visual kind of look where you can see all 5 of us all at once on YouTube, which is great. Subscribe, do the whole thing. Let's have a good season, fellas. I'm excited.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Back.
Football's the best.
Football's the best.
Football.
All right. That's unnecessary roughness.